bad. I needed to do this video. That's why I clicked record. So, because I've been sitting here procrastinating for like the last 45 minutes. But anyway, I'm T Street Controversy. This is T Street Controversy Live. And yeah, man, let me close this out. Whether you want to believe it or not, it's looking like it's happening. I'm talking about really, really happening. Now, over the years, I found out some good things to do when I want to start investigating the accuracy or rumors of a Mayweather fight. So one thing I like to do is, once you hear an arena is on hold, what I like to do is I like to go and look at the rates for rooms around the vicinity of, at that point in time, was the MGM Grand. This time, if Mayweather versus McGregor were to happen, which is very likely it's going to happen, I'm going to talk about it, you'll start seeing the rates start to go up. So this is the time when you really should start thinking like, should I take that risk? Even though it's not official yet, we're hearing it's going to happen on either June the 10th, but maybe even June the 17th. What do I do? You see what I'm saying? Because as soon as the fight becomes official, when that press release comes out, when you hear, yes, she's going to be on that date, then it's like, it's already too late at that point in time. So whether you want to see the fight or not, it's like, listen, let's be real here. Mayweather fights are a holiday. So Mayweather versus McGregor is going to be a super holiday. It's not about who wins. We know who's going to win. All right? Only the Irishman, no disrespect, and the drunken Irishman, you got to be drunk, no disrespect, and UFC fans are the only ones who feel that McGregor has a chance. And they keep talking about, this guy's been throwing hands for years, even though it's not in the boxing ring. I'm not trying to hear that shit. We're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about the fight. What are you going to be doing? It's going to be a super event. Are you not going to go to your homie's house? Somebody's going to order the fight. Multiple people are going to order the fight. There's going to be barbecues. What are you going to be doing? Are you going to sit home and stay home with your hands crossed? Like, man, I'm not watching the fight. This is bullshit. This is disrespect to the sport. Everybody's going to be watching that fight. And all the sports bars, especially with the fact that more UFC events are played in sports bar, mixed martial arts events are played in sports bars than boxing. So imagine with McGregor, it's just going to be everywhere. What are you going to do? You stay home? What are you going to do? Watch Battlestar Galactica or some shit? You're going to be watching the fight. So it's like this. We might as well just prepare for it. It's just a spectacle. Even Adrian Broner did an interview on Fight Hub where he's hinting at, he's going to be on the undercard. And it makes sense. He's talking about coming back in June. Why not put him on the Mayweather undercard? Because you know that the main event is really just is whatever it is, man. But still, stack up the undercard with some good names. I was wondering how was they going to do the undercard. I was starting to get creative and thinking crazy shit in my head. Like, well, maybe if they have the ring on one side and then the octagon on the other side. This is the type of fucking gimmicky shit this is anyway, right? Then they have a boxing match, UFC match, boxing match, UFC match. Some old crazy WCW, WWE purchase type shit. That's for the years and years back. Some old crazy shit like that, But, do I want to see? Put it this way. Now listen, you can't count me no more. Because when people say, I'm not buying this pay-per-views, it's my job to buy the pay-per-views. When people say, I'm not watching this bullshit or entertaining it, it's my job to talk about the shit. I be mad sometimes having to talk about it, but at the same time I think like, well, you're not really a fan anymore. You gotta be, more professional about the shit. And it is your job to talk about it, and it is your job to sell the fight. So my job is basically to find reasons for you to buy the fight and to get you all hyped up and shit. Because truth be told, by the time the fight comes, I'm going to be hyped. Even though I know it's bullshit, I am going to be hyped because I'm like, oh shit, that Mayweather McGregor this weekend. Or in 2 weeks or next month. So the date they're saying is going to be on June the 10th, right? It could be June the 17th, but have you noticed that Mayweather's been on somewhat of a quiet press tour? Remember, they did this shit before Mayweather Pacquiao. McGregor's been running his mouth at all media that he can. Even Dana White was quoted somewhere saying, yeah, I believe it's going to happen. So if he's saying some shit like I believe it's going to happen, that means his part is already done. You got to, from covering these fights for so many years now, you start to see a pattern with this shit. So now that Dana White is not saying, well, I don't believe it's going to happen because of this or this or this, You're hearing them saying, well, I believe it's going to happen. So something happened where they came to some type of terms in some way, shape, or form. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a Conor McGregor UFC fight extension where they say, okay, well, listen, if you go fight Mayweather, we may not. I'm just throwing hypothetical shit out there, scenarios, because I know UFC is getting something out of the deal. So they probably like, well, since you only had 2 more years or 2 more fights or 2 more years or whatever it is, his current UFC contract is, they say, well, look, give us another 3 at, some type of flat rate they threw at him, and we'll let you go ahead and collect whatever bread you get from the Mayweather fight and only charge you a little bit of some shit like that. But when it comes to UFC, for example, Dana White cannot promote and manage Conor McGregor's boxing career because he's going to be a boxer now, for this Mayweather fight because of the Muhammad Ali Act, so which means that he would have to finesse an Al Heyman the situation. It's hard to explain because it's really deep, and the closer we get to the fight, especially when we get real close to I'm gonna say when the fight's announced, then I'm gonna take the time out and do like one of them long 30-minute videos like I used to and really explain like how does Muhammad Ali Act and how does Muhammad Ali Act was one of the biggest issues involved in making this fight or getting this fight made. I'm really interested to know like how they got around that part. So it's going to be interesting to see like, will this be just strictly a Mayweather Promotions event? Will it be Zuffa or how? That's the type of shit I want to know. So like I said, you can see that Mayweather has been really promoting this fight, just running his mouth, flapping his gums. Then St. Paddy's Day weekend, McGregor was in Madison Square Garden, with Mike Conlon, for his debut, talking all this shit. And that's what they've been doing, talking shit. So now you have Mayweather saying, yep, I'm officially out of retirement. He said this. You have Dana White who's saying, yeah, I believe it's going to happen, right? And then you have Conor McGregor and Mayweather doing like this little mini press type thing going on. Where now you're hearing that Mayweather is bringing in, is starting to bring in sparring partners. Sparring partners that may try to mimic how a UFC fighter might transition to fighting inside a boxing ring. Shit like that. I know it may sound crazy, but that's the type of shit you really want to do. You got Conor McGregor right out there now quietly trying to put together a boxing team. So the time is coming. If the fight's going to happen in June, right now we're what, March the 24th? What the fuck is the date? March the 23rd. Where's my days going? It's March the 23rd. So if the fight's going to be on June the 10th, basically, you got April 10th will be pretty much 2 months notice. So you would think that they have to start, making an announcement sometime, within the next month or so. You see what I'm saying? But either way, it's not about selling tickets because tickets going to sell like hotcakes. It's not about selling tickets. This is like kind of like a Mayweather Pacquiao-ish type of situation. For example, the fight's going to do over 1 million buys. I'm saying like, cap, I don't see it doing any more than 1.4, 1.5. And that's because the two combination of both of these, stars together. Conor McGregor is the star of the UFC and of Ireland. He's got a whole nation behind him. And then Mayweather, of course, being Mayweather, those numbers together are going to bring about 1.5. But I lost my train of thought. I'm wondering, like is the WBC going to make up some type of bullshit belt? And how will they get around the fact of explaining why they're sanctioning a full, seasoned, one of the greatest boxers of all time against a boxer who is 0-0? I want to see how they fucking finesse that. I want to see how they explain that shit to us. Because how is that fight getting sanctioned? We just had a fucking, a press conference with Kell Brook, Errol Spence, and the trainers was going back and forth. It was like, how are you being allowed, to fight guys who was such and such in 185, Kell Brook, but then we got Mayweather, despite the fact that it's Conor McGregor, is going to be fighting a boxer who's 0-0. That's the story behind the fight, right? So it's so much shit that, I want to know that I'm salivating to get my hands on, just to see like how they're going to just, listen, it's done. They finessed it. And you got to think, I know I'm saying like, I want the questions, the answers to all these questions. And I understand that when it comes to Las Vegas, they looking at it like, well, damn, all that money, that revenue going to come into Vegas. So, of course, people are going to say, well, that's why they letting the shit slide. But realistically, think about it. What if Conor McGregor gets hurt? Or what if he gets put into a coma? What are people going to talk about? Are they going to say, oh, he shouldn't have been in there with no boxer who's 49? Think about the real shit. Anyway, I'm Teach You Controversy. This is Teach You Controversy Live. I cover every single major fight live. Listen, man, you know, I say expect an announcement soon. Please subscribe. Oh, and visit FightView360.com. As soon as that press release and as soon as it's official, we will post that shit. You know, I don't know about tickets, you know, but I'm on it. I'm investigating. I'm getting back to like I used to. I'm on it. I'm digging deep.